All right. Okay, welcome everybody. We are going to go ahead and jump into pitfalls of detox. Just to get started, I want to introduce myself. Again, my name is Kelsey. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me here in a second, but I am going to give away some prizes for everyone joining live today. I'll repeat this in a few minutes because I know moms are busy and we'll probably hop on a little late. But if you can drop your name, doesn't have to be your full name, just a first name and an email in the chat at any point during this, because I'm gonna, like I said, my assistant can't make it because she's been in an earthquake. So if you can drop your name and your email address in the chat, then I can make sure we get out the information for who won the illegal scan, as well as the other giveaways that we're going to offer today. So go ahead and drop your email in the chat. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to jump right in. All right. If we have extra time at the end, I will probably do a little Q&A if you guys are interested. Totally up to you. Let's get going. All right. So this webinar is about the pitfalls of detox. And I called it Just Don't because I work primarily with honestly vaccine injured, toxin injured, pharmaceutical injured, autism, pandas, pans, adults, and children. And one of the most common problems I see is things being made worse by detoxing improperly, symptoms getting worse, toxins being stirred around, people re-intoxicating themselves or their children. And this is just something that we don't have to do. And my team has been working for several years to put together a detox school so we could teach parents how to detox expertly, because it's not that hard. It was just a bit to dial in to be able to give you guys outside of the clinic. So we've been walking parents through this successfully with the most incredible life-changing results for their kids. And I just really believe that this wisdom belongs to the world. And so I'm going to do my darndest to make sure you guys all get access to it, okay? So just a little bit about me. I've been a private practice midwife for over 15 years. I own a wellness center in Oregon. I know I don't look old enough, but it's just because I take care of my cells. I promise I am so much older than you think. And my mission isn't just to help children with autism, pandas, and pans. I am extremely passionate about that. I'm leaving my career as a midwife to do that exclusively because I believe it is part of my calling. But a huge part of why I'm here is to give parents this information. I believe that moms will be the instrument that gives this generation its voice back. And I want to be the voice that empowers you. So, first and foremost, I'm here for moms. I'm here for kids. I have two children of my own. A lot of people think I'm anti-detox because I'm fairly critical of it, but I'm not. I practice high-level detox, and I believe that it is a critical part of healing in autism, in pandas, pans, any type of toxic injury, okay? Toxic injury, including potentially pharmaceuticals, vaccines. This could also be mold. This could also be Lyme's disease. These are all toxic injuries. Some come from our environment naturally and some synthetically. They all affect the neuroimmune system, okay? All these injuries we're talking about today are immune systems in the brain. And when we remove the interference, AKA the toxin, the source, this is when we see incredible results, okay? However, I would rather see parents leave the toxins there than do it the wrong way. This is true if you're a mom with amalgam or silver mercury fillings, if your kids have silver fillings, if you find out your child has lead toxicity. Almost all of the time, it's better to leave it than it is to detox the wrong way. I'm going to get into the reason why I believe that today and why I've seen that in clinical practice. I do want to say it's not always 100%. Some parents have incredible results with some of the products that I don't support using. And I don't know if it's luck or if it's just where that child was biologically. But I'm very happy when it goes well. So if it has gone well for you, then that's fantastic. Moms always know best, so always trust your gut. This is just my opinion, what I've learned in clinical practice. This webinar is for education to help you, up level where you're at, not to negate anything you found that works for you. All right. Um, so I want to just share, this is really important to me that you understand this. Detox School and Undoctor Academy, our goal is to empower parents with the tools, okay? The tools needed to solve the health crisis our children are facing. Not selling a supplement. I'm not selling you a protocol. I want to give you the tools to do it expertly because every single child is different and every single detox is different. And working with moms and newborns and infants and children my whole career, parents are so smart. Okay, you guys are underserved in the community, and people underestimate how intelligent you are and how accurate your intuition is all of the time. I pray I never make that mistake. Parents are so deeply, instinctively aware of what their kids need. And I think that deep down, so many moms know, oh, I'm a little hesitant about this detox spray. Like, I know my kid needs detox, but I have a little bit of reservations about it. Trust your gut. Okay. You guys are almost always exactly right. And when you're not exactly right, it's just because there's a piece you don't know yet, but you're still right. All right, so we're going to talk about today pitfalls to watch out for. So, by this, I mean poorly executed detoxes and improperly used products that violate the biology of detox. So, if you are one of my ride or dies, you know what I mean by this. If you're new here, you're so welcome. What I mean by biology of detox is how our cells detoxify us. Okay. It's the job of the cell membrane to detoxify us. I do have a webinar where I talk primarily about that. If you want to dive deep into that, I recommend it. It's super fun. It's my favorite topic to nerd out on. Cell membranes are so cool. But these type of detox, they neglect the real issue and they fail to restore biology. All right. So what do you think is better? Restoring our biological system that detoxifies us or trying to force it to detox? Restoring the system that is supposed to detoxify us outranks any detox protocol you could do, no matter how high level or simple it is. All right. It's just better. When we detox properly, we're restoring mitochondria, we're restoring our cellular and biological ability to detox, we're gently cleaning out the superficial tissues. This creates cellular safety. All right. We can't go for the deeply stored big megatoxins like mercury and aluminum and the super toxins, those all combine into in our brain first. Because without a sense of safety, cell danger response is still turned on, and the brain and the body are still going to hold those toxins. All right. So, if I could give a pop quiz, this is where I would start, but I'm just going to tell you because that's why you're here. Why are toxins stored in deep tissue? Why on God's green earth would our body put the most dangerous substance in our solar system in our brain? Why would it do that? The only reason it does that is to save our life. It makes it very difficult to remove it from the body, but it is saving your child's life. So we have to think like ourselves. We have to think the way our biology thinks in order to be able to execute detox properly. This means we have to restore a sense of safety. Every single thing your child's cell is doing is meant to save their life. It's a survival tactic. It's intentional. And so when we start to create safety in the body, by cleaning out those superficial tissues, by restoring gut health, then those more deeply rooted toxins begin to release, and that changes everything. Okay, I'm going to show you in more details. Don't worry, I'm going to kind of just take it through step by step because it's a lot of information. I'm guilty of over-informing you. I hope that's why you're here, but I apologize if it's overwhelming. Luckily, you can watch this as many times as you'd like. All right, pitfall number one we're going to jump into is products. Now, this is where it probably seems like I'm going to sell you a product. I'm not. All right. These are the problems with each of these products. And in Detox School, we will teach you exactly how to use these or these kinds of products well. Okay. But here's what you want to watch out for if you're looking at buying something anywhere. Okay. Or working with a doctor. This is where you're going to start asking questions about products. Start with herbal vaccine detoxes. Okay, you can see behind me, I think my camera follows me, but I like herbs. Okay. I'm a master clinical herbalist. I have over 300 herbs. This is a very small amount of the herbs I have in my clinic. I have an entire room that way with herbs that I make custom products for my clients. Okay. I have over like 20,000 hours formulating my own herbal products. I love them. They cannot remove heavy metals safely from the brain or from the cell. They can be very supportive in the process. But what happens with herbal vaccine and herbal vaccine detoxes or herbal heavy metal detoxes, whatever, I'm picking on vaccines because with all the information coming out in the world, I get thousands of messages. How do we detox vaccines? So that's why I'm picking on it. But this is true about any detox, okay? Herbs are strong enough to grab onto the toxins and move them from where the body has stored them. But they are not strong enough to remove them all the way from the body. Big problem, because the body's put it there for a reason. Now we're plucking it up and moving it, trying to get it out, but oops, we just let go of it here. Now we have no idea where that's going to land. And we're potentially stirring up Pandora's box, okay? Herbs are great for detox pathways, for gut restoration, for the microbiome. They're good for so many things. Inflammation, not detox, okay? Zeolites. Zeolites in the right situation, used the right way, can be amazing. I'm not anti-zeolite. I'm anti most of the trendy zeolites out there. Here's why. You get the zeolite and you get zero information about how to use it, when to dose it, how much to dose, and how to change that dosing based on how your child reacts. The information that comes is maybe like start with one spray a day and work up to this many sprays. No, if they are not teaching you about how long before that zeolite loses its cage integrity, then you shouldn't be using that product and they shouldn't be selling that product. Okay. The other issue with zeolites is they're often contaminated. Zeolites are very natural. They're organic. They're found in nature. They naturally bind heavy metals in our body. So what are they doing in nature? They're binding heavy metals and they function like a cage, right? They're like a trap. So if they're binding heavy metals in nature, they're often contaminated, which means they have to be washed very well in order for that cage to be empty to capture toxins for us. Fantastic idea, but oftentimes that process either leaves them still contaminated, bummer, or that cage gets damaged. And so any sort of zeolite you're going to use needs to be tested for purity and needs to be tested for particle size. We want different size zeolites, okay? And we want that cage integrity to be intact. So this is, I'm gonna spoiler alert, the free gift for all of you who are joining live. If you choose to join us for Detox Academy, I'm going to send you a free bottle of my favorite zeolite. It's a regulated zeolite, so unless you get lucky and find it online, which I don't think you will, you do need a physician to order it for you. So I'm going to send those to everyone. Yay, I'm so excited. It's my favorite one. I never see reactions to it ever, and I'll make sure you know how to use it safely as well. Okay, so next one I'm going to pick on is bentonite clays. Bentonite clays also do not come with information about how to use them safely. They can be an incredible tool, but used over long term, they will demineralize your kids, which cause a whole host of other problems. They also do not access deep tissues. Okay, bentonite clays are going to draw what's in the gut and only what's in the gut, which might be a good thing in certain circumstances. They also tend to be contaminated and not as effective. So the type of clay that I use is a specific type of bentonite clay. It's different. I'm not going to dive into it because I said this is not about products, but that is going to be available as well for anyone that wants to continue learning with us. So smoothies and juices. Smoothies and juices are fantastic for autism, for any sort of toxic injury. When we're talking about the microbiome, okay, they're great for the bugs. They're great for diversity. It's a great way to hide herbs, to hide quality supplements, particularly fats and phospholipids. I love it when you guys hide those in smoothies. That's my favorite mom trick. Great for amino acids if you're doing brain balancing therapy. But for the same reason as herbals, they cannot alone detox heavy metals. They're just not going to. They just don't. So if you see someone trending, this detox smoothie reversed my kid's autism, fine, do the smoothie, but just know you're not detoxing them. You're supporting their microbiome, you're healing their gut, you're doing other amazing work. You're not detoxing heavy metals, okay? All right. So one of the concerns with these types of detox is they all neglect the cell. All right. So detox happens inside a functioning cell membrane. This is the most important thing. I wish everyone would just hear me say this. It would change the world. We can force, if you were to take my product list and use only my favorite ones, even if you force the best detox products in the world at a cell that isn't functioning, you are not going to get detox. It is not going to work. You might clear out, again, that superficial tissue. You are not going to get where it matters because you need the mitochondria out of cell danger response. You need energy in the cell. You need the cell working with you. Otherwise, you're just stressing out your mitochondria even more. This is going to be a huge part of the bread and butter of detox school. We're going to teach you exactly how to restore the primary functions in the cell needed to restore the biological ability to detox so that the products you do choose to use, you will be able to use expertly in a system that's working at the right time without causing symptoms. Okay, so if you're looking at any detox protocol with a doctor, naturopath, on your own, if it's not addressing cell membranes and mitochondria, just don't do it. Just run away. Again, my opinion from someone who's helped countless parents. And, I think you guys have all heard the stories of my own children reversing their conditions. Like, we got to get the membrane on board. Okay. So what I want you guys to know is we are opening an online store with all vetted products so that it will be very easy for you guys moving forward. This is kind of a side announcement I'm throwing into the middle of my presentation here, but we're going to make it very easy. I'm going to put a rating in there, how much I recommend the product, how safe it is, what to use it for, and basic guidelines on how to use it in the detox school. You will basically learn how to create your own advanced protocol. And you can use either the products that we vet for you, or you can get them wherever you want, just using the tools that we teach you. But just so you know, that was supposed to launch today. It's probably going to be a day or two late, just considering the support, getting everybody time to get safe and reorganize their life and all of those sorts of things. Okay. This is the next pitfall I want to talk about, which I briefly mentioned before, and I am sorry for jumping around a little bit. I just have so many exciting announcements for you guys. Bringing this wisdom to the world is a dream come true for me. So I hope you guys are excited as me. No understanding of half-life. Okay, this is where I'm going to pick on doctors. Okay, I would say 30% of my patients are doctors. All right. And all of my patients have seen doctors trying to help them with detox. Not a single one of them ever have I ever seen do this right with detox, ever. That is scary, okay? Half-life means the amount of time it takes before your product, we're going to specifically talk about zeolite, chelation, right? Anything that's grabbing onto heavy metals before it loses its action. Half-life is when it starts to let go of the toxin it grabbed. This is so important. If you're thinking about, you're reaching into deep tissue, you're grabbing a toxin, you're moving it around, at some point, the agent you're using to do that is going to let go. You need to know exactly when that is so that you can dose appropriately to make sure that that doesn't happen. Otherwise, this is not safe detox practice at all. All right. So if you're a doctor and you're listening, you guys, you have the most brilliant brains. My closest friends are mostly doctors. I'm telling you, just dial in the half-life and please, please include this information to your patients. So if you are exploring a detox and you're not given information on the half-life of the product, just don't. This is our theme. Get it? Just don't. Okay. I know I'm sassy, you guys, but I love you and I'm glad you're here. All right, not using the right binders. This is another thing I'm going to pick on. What binders you use depends on what toxins you are targeting and also what types of chelating agents you're using. Okay, chelating agents are not the same as binders, not in all cases. So for example, second pet peeve I'm going to pick on doctors for is if you're prescribing a zeolite, you also need to prescribe a binder, please, that will bind the zeolite. Because what happens is as we start to move toxins around in the tissue, ideally, they get to the liver dumps them in the bile dumps them in the gut. And then in a perfect world, we eliminate it into the toilet. But we don't live in a perfect world. And especially our vaccine injured humans that we love, and our autistic humans that we love, and our autoimmune compromised humans that we love all have leaky gut. They all have leaky gut. So what happens when we dump a bunch of bile into a leaky gut? The toxins recirculate into the body. All right. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but this is where the binder is very protective, because if we have the right binder, that's the right size for the right chelating agent and the right toxin we're removing, then we're going to prevent that redistribution. And we've created a full, safe pathway through, which is the goal. All right. Okay. Next topic I want to cover is detoxing with closed detox pathways. No, just don't. All right. If you're starting a detox protocol and your child is not pooping every single day or able to sweat or is liver compromised, gallbladder compromised, you shouldn't be detoxing yet. These problems are not terribly difficult to solve. Most of them are not solved by supplements. Most of them are solved by lifestyle, and they need to be taken care of. So you can see here, I have a free poop class. It doesn't look like the link actually got in here. Again, I'm so sorry. I did not expect the hiccup that we had today. Obviously, my assistant's safety is so much more important than her finishing this for me. So I will make sure that the link for that gets sent out into the follow-up email. But so you're aware, I do believe it's on my link tree in my Instagram and somewhere on the interweb. You could find my free poop class if you go to probably my website. Lymph. So lymph, honestly, with kids is pretty easy for the most part. Like get a little trampoline rebounder or something. Getting them moving. Lymph is really activated by our calf muscles and by our diaphragm. So diaphragmatic breathing. There's also a lot of, I'm sure you've seen these manual lymph drainages. I could teach you it if we have time at the end. But typically not supplement, in my opinion, supplement-based protocols. I do use drainage openers when I'm detoxing heavy metals. However, so much of this you can do without supplements, okay? And I briefly touched on this, but the next pitfall I want to dive into is detoxing with an open gut barrier and open blood-brain barrier. Okay, I want to be obnoxious here. I'm going to stop this share and jump on a whiteboard here. Thank you for being so patient with me. Okay, so, wow, this is so funny. Okay, so let's just say we have our child's gut here, okay? I'm going to put a G for gut. I used to teach art. Can you believe that? Okay. And I really did. And we're going to say all these little X's are the toxins that we've bound up in whatever sort of chelating agent we're using. And then this is the lymph stream, the bloodstream, and we have here the liver, the biliary tree with the bile. So let's just say all these little toxins get caught up, they get through a liver. Okay, so problem number one, which I wasn't going to talk about today, but here's just a little freebie. What if the liver is not doing well? Are they even going to get here? What if the liver isn't producing enough bile? What if you've been using too many binders the wrong way and there isn't any bile? Then what happens, right? So there's other problems besides what I'm talking about that we can solve with high level cellular understanding. Okay, it's not even that high level. It's everyone should be able to do this. Then it gets dumped in the bile and dumped in the gut. Okay, so now the toxins are here. The problem is so many, I need a new color. So many of our kids have these leaky gut, these little holes punched in the wall of the mucosal barrier that's supposed to protect them. The gut is outside the body. All right. Our gut is outside our body. From our hole to our anus is a tube that exists outside the body. Once we cross that blood barrier here, this is inside the body. This is our bloodstream. There is never meant to be food particles or toxins moving through here. This is meant to be very protected from the outside world. But because of glyphosate, because of toxins, because of infections, because of poor diet, this barrier is compromised. Toxins get in and they move into the bloodstream. Okay. Enter other problem, particularly with autism, pandas, any sort of autoimmunity. This is the brain. It's so cute. Here, we'll put a little brain stem here. There we go. Hopefully you can tell. You can tell it's a brain. My art students are so impressed. Okay, so now what happens is this bloodstream, this blood-brain barrier is also meant to be closed. But because of certain things like dyes, glyphosate, toxins, I lost my color. This is also compromised. So now all these nasty toxins have mobilized and they're entering the brain. Okay, this is a major problem. We need to deal with the blood-brain barrier, which is tricky, but can be supported and eventually sealed, and the gut before we're doing these detoxes. And I really hope this visualization, as terrible as it was, helped you understand that a little bit better. Okay. I see some new people have entered the chat. We will be doing the giveaway at the end. If you want to put your email address and your first name in the chat, then I can make sure you get entered into the drawing. Okay. All right, next thing I'm going to pick on here is using chelators without binders. I did briefly mention this already. They are not the same thing. It's very rare that any sort of chelating agent, so a chelating agent is what we're using to pull heavy metals through the system, hopefully into the toilet. And a binder is something that is generally sitting in the gut and binding toxins, mopping them up and removing them from the body. So in an ideal world, we're using binders to bind up whatever we've chelated. And those words are interchanged and used so differently all through the wellness space, and who really cares how they're used, but they're not always the same thing. And that's just what I want you to understand is, like, namely zeolite sprays and herbs should definitely not be used without stronger binders. Okay. Oh no. Okay. This is probably one of the most important things I can teach you. One size fits all is all the no's. It's all the nopes. It's all the just don'ts. Okay. One size fits all does not work ever. Every single person's biology is different. And even every person detoxes different during different detox cycles. All right. So we really need to understand, how is our child detoxing? How do they do? How is their liver? How are their kidneys? How do they handle detox in order to even tell you how to detox them properly? Like when I'm working one-on-one with clients, I do not tell them to do the same thing. They're all doing different things. And I can tell you that the reason people work with me is because I help them solve their problems at a high level. But I can tell you the reason I only work with moms that I know I can work with is because moms know their kids better than anyone else. And the combination of the cellular understanding and the high level problem solving and moms knowing how their children are responding is absolutely everything for getting the perfect detox. This is part of why I believe if I can train moms to be able to solve some of these problems by understanding biology, you guys are going to get high level detox and such better results. That's my goal, my hope, my prayer for you. So what we built into Detox School, okay? So I've gone over the pitfalls and I feel like we did it fairly quickly. So we're going to have lots of time. I'm going to just give you a little information about what we're doing next. And then if you guys would like a Q&A, I'll go ahead and open it up for a minute. But I'm going to do the detox school. I'm going to offer a basic and an advanced, and then I will continue to offer the academy for now. The academy we've been offering for $3,000 off for the last year, and we will continue to do that as absolutely long as we can afford to. The detox school is a much less of an expense. And we're going to break it up into 2 parts. So you can choose just to do the basic, or you can move into advanced. The biggest difference is going to be in the advanced part of detox school, we will teach you how to safely cross the blood-brain barrier and how to use more advanced chelation, versus in basic detox school, we're going to show you how to use an advanced clinoptrolite, which is a type of zeolite, and advanced binders. And obviously all of the cellular healing type work that needs to happen before, as well as give you access to those prescription strength supplements. The advanced part, you will learn more advanced troubleshooting, more advanced detox methods, and then again, the blood-brain barrier type stuff. And then the academy, we do all those things, but also the one-on-one work. We also do infections, mold, yeast, parasites. That's where we make custom formulas for clients. And then we also do the brain balancing, which is a really, really cool therapy. So those will be the 3 academy options: the basic detox school, advanced detox school, and then on Doctor Academy, which we'll continue to offer, like I said, for as long as we can. And so you're also aware, this is one of my very favorite things, is our Undoctor Academy graduates have the option to train with us to become coaches and work with other families in the area they're most passionate about. So really excited about that. We are going to give discounts, like I said, to everyone who is interested in detox school. So you can use this QR code. I'll leave this up for a minute if you'd like to pre-register. It should be launching no later than November 15th. Everyone who attended today will get the information sooner. I am going to cap it off at a certain number of participants, just because we can only provide a certain amount of this quality of product and support that we can. So that is there. And I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up my presentation today. I'll leave this here just for one other minute. I'm going to come back into Zoom. Let me see in the chat. I have a couple more messages.